Hey guys, welcome to Peripheral Vision, and today we are taking a look at the Intellivision 10 video game system. Where do I even begin? It's awful. This is the worst thing I've ever reviewed. It actually made me genuinely angry at just how many things this gets wrong. So, well, what is it? What is the Intellivision 10? What is the purpose of this piece of plastic with buttons on top of it? Because I refuse to call it a video game system. Well, it's supposed to allow you to play 10 Intellivision games, and for those who don't know what an Intellivision is, it is a pre-Nintendo Entertainment System console that had a weird little controller thing that looked like a mixture between a remote control and that dial thing you enter your pin into at stores. So that is kind of a weird thing, but somehow they managed to make it worse than that. The Intellivision is not, I don't think, a very good console to begin with. I don't have that much knowledge on the history of it, but I've played a little bit of it. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about this thing. So let's open it up. Just don't really care about the plastic or the cardboard here. There is, I believe, there was instructions. I think I lit them on fire with the pure amount of hatred I have towards this item. Pop it out of here. And here it is, the TV Play Power Intellivision 10 video game system thing. And it's a plug and play, like I mentioned before. You plug these two into your composite jacks on your television, and you power it by use of batteries. And that's the first problem that I noticed immediately, is that you require batteries. So you have to use 4 AA's, you put in the back here, and you have to unscrew the back. So every time you want to enjoy the musty old antiquated games of the Intellivision, you have to unscrew it, use up 4 AA's, and screw it back, which is a huge pain, not only because in general batteries are kind of a pain in the butt, but the screw doesn't work well. So I managed to get it off and then put it back on. We could put the batteries in and stuff, and now I can't actually open it. You'll notice that it is glowing. This is the indicator light that says that the thing is on, but I think I've lost 4 batteries. I just cannot manage to get the back off. So alright, so you get 4 batteries worth of life out of this device, because that back part's going to stay stuck forever. It will outlast the cockroaches, I think. And then we've got more problems. And if you're wondering, just so you know, I'm not going to be plugging this in and showing you footage from it. It's just like any other plug and play you've ever seen. It's a menu with the games, and it's whatever. But if you were curious, the most interesting game out of it was Snafu. I thought that was pretty fun. The problem with the games, even though they're not very good to begin with, is that the controller is just well, let's start with the back. You'll notice there's these little dips in the back of the controller, and that's because the makers of this understood that controllers needed to be ergonomic, but apparently they'd never seen human beings' hands before. So I guess their goal was to have you rest the tips of your fingers into the indents here, but that makes your hands bend out like this. And if they meant for it to cup this particular part of your finger, then you get this weird thing where your thumbs are towards the center here. And that's not really an issue, like, it's not just an issue for me because I have larger hands and it's meant for children. If children were to do it, they'd have the same kind of general problems. Now, as far as the buttons go, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and including certain select buttons, we have 8. And here, this is the reset. This resets the system. These 2 are turbo buttons. These are the regular action commands. And then we've got an extra set of A and B buttons on top if you prefer to play it that way. The left one doesn't really work. The right one works a little bit better. This one, you can't get the click anymore, but this one you kind of can. The D-pad is actually kind of similar to the Sega Saturn controller, I believe. One of the Sega controllers has this indentation bubble, and that is fine, I guess. The problem, of course, comes when you actually try to play the games and discover that none of these buttons actually work. They'll work half the time. Sometimes they work, sometimes they won't. To the point where when you're navigating the menu, I thought for a second that some of the games were broken, like the innards were broken, but it turns out you just really have to hammer in the buttons to make them work. And for an emulation of a system that had an awkward, weird controller to begin with, you really need them to be precise just to get the job done. This does not provide that precision. This provides nothing, really. It doesn't provide anything. It provides me a thing that I can rant about a little bit and give you guys a review. It also smells funny. It smells weird. It smells like burnt plastic, which is a side effect of cheap plastic being mixed with cheap electronics. That is the actual board thing inside the controller kind of melting a little bit. So that's what that is. I don't really know what else to say, guys. It's a cheap, bad plug and play, and I think the reason that it upsets me so much is that it's not even interesting. Like I've reviewed the Power Glove before, the NES Power Glove, and that is a bad controller, and I did not enjoy playing with it. But it's at least the Power Glove is interesting. It has a historical context. It does something neat, and it tries to do something. This is a worn out, dead idea from a system which has games that are basically the mentally challenged cousins of Atari 2600 games, and it doesn't even do that well enough. It doesn't even give me something that's workable. It's just kind of this plastic garbage, and I hate it. I don't even, this is, oh, by the way, here's the on-off switch, so if you were curious about it. Don't buy this, don't ever buy this. I spent $5 on this, just so I could have something to review today, and I guess I got what I wanted. I got something to review, and, not much else. Later days.